That's right, Emmanuel Macron, who was supposed to be holding a meeting in the south of France, launching a major reform on retirements and pensions in France with a big debate with citizens. Well, he's cancelled that engagement. He will be here in Paris. He will be making a speech, a televised speech to the French nation at 8 p.m. Paris time, paying tribute to Jacques Chirac. And there have been reactions coming in from across the political world here in France. We've just heard from former President François Hollande, who said that the French people had lost a friend today. He hailed Jacques Chirac as a fighter and said that he had managed to create a direct and personal link with the French people. And it's true that in his later years he was very popular, although he wasn't at the end of his mandate as president. But in later years, he became one of the most popular French figures, with many people on the left and the right saying that they admired his humour, his frankness, his sense of repartie, and an image he cultivated really as an affable rogue, someone who was prepared to break the rules. And a lot of tributes coming in from Jean-Luc Mélenchon on the far left to Marine Le Pen on the right, saying that whatever differences she and notably her father may have had with Jacques Chirac, that this was a big day and that Jacques Chirac above all had loved France.
Yes, he certainly had staying power, didn't he, Catherine? 6 decades. He was really a force in French politics. He served twice as Prime Minister. He inhabited the Élysée Palace for 2 terms as well. And, of course, he was the man who actually shortened presidential terms from 7 years to 5.
Yeah, that was one of the reforms he passed while in office. He was criticised for perhaps not doing enough, but one of the things that he did enact was shortening the term of the French president, as you say, from 7 years to 5, to bring it in line with the length of term of the French Parliament. And he had a huge career, stretching right from 1962, when he became a presidential advisor to former President Georges Pompidou, right through to being quickly a minister, prime minister on 2 separate occasions. He ran twice for the presidency and failed in 1981 and 1988, before finally getting third time lucky, winning the presidency in 1995. So all his political opponents admired him as a fighter, a man who could take setbacks and then bounce back. And of course, he was also dogged for many years by these corruption allegations that when he was the mayor of Paris, he siphoned off public money and embezzled it for use in his own private political party per favour staff. And he was, of course, convicted of that in later life. Although he never served prison time, he received a suspended prison sentence. But despite that conviction, his reputation still managed to bounce back. He was by then in ill health as an elderly and failing man, but he became admired despite that by many people for, well, his frankness, his sense of humour, his sense of repartee. A lot of French people, if you ask them, they all have a favourite anecdote about Jacques Chirac, about him answering back to hecklers at the agriculture show, or on tour out and about in many meets and greets in France. So a huge decades-long career spanning many jobs, many of the major functions in French political life. He is a giant of the French political scene.
Catherine, thank you very much indeed. Catherine Norris-Trent there, down at the Élysée Palace.